Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to part 5 of my video for the walkthrough of Ninja Gaiden for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Last time you joined us, we were scaling a wall to get to the top of the temple, which we are on our way. We've already been sent back down. We've tried to journey up, and then Jakio caught us. We gave the demon statue back to Jakio, and then he brought us back down. But now, as you could tell, we are now at level 5-3, the very final level in 5, sorry. We'll find a boss at the top of this temple here. We're pretty much on the outskirts of the temple right now. Here is when the jumps get really difficult, because there's always things like that show up, and they create a large problem for me. And as a matter of fact, see, jumps like that are incredibly difficult to do, especially when it's going slow. Now, this isn't just the emulator's problem. This is actually what happened in the game too when I was playing it the first time, and it was fresh in my mind how long it took for me to complete it. Any walkthrough that you see of Ninja Gaiden, I've heard walkthroughs before about this game, that it is a frustrating game and it's incredibly difficult to play. We don't have that level of difficulty anymore in video games, unfortunately. I mean, fortunately it's easier to play through and to hear the whole story, you know, in one shot, which is good, but the challenge level of these games were so peaked that even people that try to play them today get really frustrated. There you go. But again, yeah, the jumps are very difficult here. This is getting pretty high up in the game as a whole, so Tecmo upped it up a notch. So, also, the one thing I wanted to let you guys know about is I'm going to be playing through the trilogy. However, this is on the Super Nintendo emulator because it's part of the Ninja Gaiden trilogy that Super NES came out with afterwards, after the 3 games were released for Nintendo. And so, but I'm not going to be playing the Super NES version of Ninja Gaiden 2. I'm going to be playing the original Ninja Gaiden 2 on the Nintendo emulator. So it's just as good as the original, in my opinion. And so I'm pretty excited to do that. And here we are, the very top of the temple, going to meet a boss. Ooh, them fighting words. It's occurred to me that I haven't really shown you much of an explanation on how to beat the bosses. It's essentially just watch the video and copy what I've done. Essentially, you can't avoid these balls of energy that he's throwing at you here. You just have to get to him and then hack and slash. And a lot of the enemies in Ninja Gaiden are the same. Ninja Gaiden Act 6. Last and final act on this first Ninja Gaiden game. So Ryu finds out that his father's still alive. He's clearly gonna try to make his way up again, up at the top of the temple. This is just an this is an alley on the side of it. Not an alley, I should say, but a bridge. Now, I gotta tell you, do you remember where we just started off after the boss fight with Maul? Well, that would be basically where we would start over if we died at the last bosses. There are 3 boss battles. I think I told you guys about that in the last part. So yeah, if you die during the boss battle, you are brought all the way back to before the bridge. And so it is incredibly frustrating when you don't know what to do or how to do it properly. You wouldn't believe how much I had to edit out of here. A lot of cuts, a lot of cuts. Yes, then you have these giant pits where you have to sort of... It's really hard to see those ninja stars because of the wall design. So, you know, it's a good thing they gave you that S sort of nimpo so that you can destroy the shurikens that those flying dudes are shooting at you. Yeah, and you see at this point, I've probably destroyed, you know, 1 or 2 of those final bosses, and I'm back all the way here fighting, so I know exactly what I'm doing here, to some degree. Essentially, the best tip that I can give you guys is to be careful, take your time, and approach with caution. Because things will respawn if you go back on the side scroller. So it's important you stay as forward as possible without going back. As you can see, that just respawned. The birds are responding. It's just a mess if you go back. Oh. And then I cut here to bring it right back to this section, which is essentially just 2 jumps away. And again, on that wall that you would have seen there, you see the impression of a mysterious figure, which you will see shortly enough. Alright, this is the last section, folks. Stage 6-3, before the bosses. The final bosses. Looks like eyeballs on the wall there. Essentially, there's not much else to mention about this game except the difficulty level definitely goes up higher. Again, the design of the game is the looks of the levels are quite good, but there's nothing much left to say in terms of this video game. It's difficult, but I would say that part 2 is slightly a little less difficult, but we'll see anyway when it comes to actually recording the video for that, because I haven't recorded that game yet. But I'm gonna figure that out, because it will have been... See, that's tricky, right? You have to wait to get the timer, and then you're able to kill that thing. But he'll keep hitting you, and you'll keep going back, which means he'll respawn, so it's very difficult to get through that section. Yeah, a lot of people will complain about the birds in this game. Just way too many birds, man. I think the level designers had fun with maybe referencing Hitchcock in his movies. And there's animals like those in Castlevania as well. I'm going to be finishing off the trilogy of Ninja Gaiden before I continue with all the games for Castlevania. You know, up to and including Lords of Shadow when I get my PBR, but we'll see we'll take our time to do that. Here we are at the end, folks. The boss battle.